Hey everyone, welcome back to the Your Money Live podcast, episode 158. See the background behind me. I'm on vacation, but I decided to pop into a quick episode for a few reasons. One, thanking everyone because there's big news and announcement that I'll announce later. But two, just give a quick update on what's going on in the economy, in the markets, and the like. So we'll get to all of that very, very shortly. But this is episode 158, and as you know, as always, no matter where we're recording from, make sure you like, subscribe, 5-star rating review. If you're doing this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube. If you're watching it or listening on Apple, Spotify, please make sure you 5-star rate and review the podcast because we do this for you every single week. Folks, as of you always know, we are going to get into the sponsorship for this episode. The sponsorship for this episode is brought to you by Cozy Earth. That's COZYEARTH. Go to cozyearth.com because guess what? Valentine's Day is popping up. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you pick something for your partner. Valentine's Day is right around the corner. You want to get something, whether it's loungewear, whether it's luxury bedding. There's different styles and colors. Cozy Earth has elevated basics that are made to last. All right, you have men's loungewear, you have women's loungewear. They're natural, they're breathable, the temperature and the regulating. Premium viscose from bamboo. All right, folks. I'm in Mexico, it's 80 degrees out here. I brought my Cozy Earth pullover with me on the plane. I haven't worn it here yet because it's so warm, but it's breathable. I could wear it. It's good. It's cold in the desert in Cabo in the morning, right? I could wear it, throw it on while I go for a walk, and it will look great. So before you even go on to it, make sure when you go to the website, we have a special exclusive offer for my listeners, and it's going to be a short time. So make sure you go to cozyearth.com, find what you like, and guess what? 35% off on the site when you use the code YMYL. Use that code 35% off. Shout out to the people at Cozy Earth. Now let's get into the episode. First and foremost, I thought it was a rather interesting, volatile day in the markets. I believe that was yesterday or 2 days ago. Still keeping up with everything, but there was a volatile day. We had the Fed, Jerome Powell's comments on Tuesday, so that was actually Tuesday, that was 2 days ago, saying that disinflation has begun, meaning the rate of inflation is slowing, right? You're going to see the trend. We talked about it was June roughly of 2022 that the trend started to pull the other way. And so his comments marked or were pretty much aligned with what we've been saying, the trend of inflation heading the other way. And that's a good thing for a couple of reasons. One, it's good for the consumer, right? If all these prices are the rate of increase of prices is starting to slow down, it's a good thing for the consumer ultimately because the price increase have been pretty crazy so far, right? They're talking about eggs, they're talking about food, basic food, shelter, energy prices. All these things have been trending. 2021 was going, the rates were crazy. It was hot inflation. Now the trends are getting better, and that's better for the consumer. And the other thing is better is because the Fed at some point will be able to stop raising interest rates. If they can moderate inflation and get closer to their target, they'll be able to stop or pause or even lower interest rates, which will be good for the markets. And we've seen the markets rebound roughly, fairly decently so far year to date, and that's brought on by a few things, but one of them being investors pricing in the fact that the Fed is getting more comfortable with getting to that target sooner rather than later. So that was the big thing. Just generally in the overall the markets this week, that theme is still playing out. We had earnings this morning with Disney did fairly well. On the bad side, they're cutting around 7,000 jobs. They're making ESPN its own separate division, and so they're doing a lot of things. And market responded in kind to that so far. Other companies reported. Uber apparently had strong earnings. You're seeing different companies report all over. What we want to talk about the Google's chatbot battle. Like Google has now released and launched a competitor to um, they've launched a competitor to Microsoft's AI. So they launched their own response, and it was met with somewhat optimism, some not. It was mixed risk reviews, but I think they're going to get better, right? If I'm betting on someone to win this war, where it comes to AI, I'm going to bet Google just because of the dominance and the data that they have, a wealth of data, the best search, and that's the parameters that this AI is run on. So I still think that they win. I still think there's room for Microsoft and other companies as well. But they came up with their own OpenAI, Bard, their own ChatGPT rival, which again was met with mixed reviews. Investors, kind of went the other way. But I think in general, there's going to be a lot of room for big tech in this space, and it's going to be really interesting to see who wins. Super Bowl. Super Bowl is on Sunday. We talked about my pick. Who are your picks? Let me know before. Don't try to do it after. All right, put your money where your mouth is. Let me know before who you're picking. But you're seeing that there's going to be a rush now. A lot of advertisers is going to be. I don't even know what the average spot is. It's going to be a record this year. Okay, we got it right here. Fox said they sold some 30-second spots for a record 7 million, and that all in games ad slots are booked. They already sold their spots. They had a record 7 million plus for 30 seconds. 7 million for 30 seconds to get what? 500 million eyeballs on it. I don't even know how many eyeballs, but 3, 4, 500 million. Everyone in the US is pretty much watching. And you have pretty much Oprah as well. Biggest one night event of the year. And so that's going to be quite interesting to see. I think it's going to be crazy. I think it's going to be fun. I'll be tucked in with my fiance and watching this event. It's always fun to watch the Super Bowl. But more news. Blowout earnings. A lot of companies have come out with strong rebound earnings. One, because they've done some things to cut costs. And that's the thing we talked about. It's unfortunate they've cut costs, and they've also seen input in tech and consumers. Consumers are still buying. Consumers are still doing things that we thought they would be. But again, it's relatively mild expectations for these companies because a lot of us thought, and a lot of people thought, rightfully so, we'd be in recession in 2023. I think the recession could potentially have happened in 2022, right? We had two quarters of negative GDP, but they didn't officially say we were in recession back then, right? And they revised some of the GDP numbers. But it's really going to be interesting to see if consumers stay strong despite a lot of job cuts that haven't hit a lot of sectors yet, but that's starting to take up, right? 3 to 4 months later, we'll see the unemployment rise. It's not going to be now. It's going to be when people get off severance, when all those things happen. That's when that number will tick up. But gambling is a big thing for the Super Bowl. It's going to hit a record 50 million plus Americans. So there's 50 million plus Americans is projected to bet, and the handle, meaning the amount that they bet, is going to be 16 billion. This is the first NFL championship to take place in a state with legalized sports betting. That's right. So Arizona, where the NFL Super Bowl championship is taking place, has legalized sports betting, which could boost apps like DraftKings and FanDuel. So it's going to be a lot of heavy betting. You're going to see people throwing money at different areas, and that's good for the sports books, for DraftKings and FanDuel. They're excited about that, I'm sure. As we run close to the end of the CNBC stock draft, right? So one of my picks was DraftKings. My other pick was Amazon. They need to update the rankings. I don't know where I sit right now, somewhere in the middle of the pack. We'll see. DraftKings has had a strong comeback recently. And I still think Ryan Reynolds is crushing it. He picked Netflix and I think Ford. He was the top of the leaderboard. What a guy. He's crushing it in movies, and then he gets to come into our arena and crush it as well. Movies producing, and like, he crushed it. But we'll see. It's still going to end. It ends on Friday, I believe. So if you listen to this on Thursday, it will end tomorrow. So that would be, a great way to see. We had fun with it. We had incredible time with it. So I'm excited to see where that all shakes out towards the end of the stock draft. And if we do an update report, that'll be fun to do. In more news, there was really not much. It's been quiet. You see more layoffs happening. JP Morgan, Credit Suisse, a lot of different companies. But in general, it's been a relatively mild news day. I did want to say, for the roundtable this week, one, we wanted to thank everyone. So I sent out the message. It was a big surprise event. Got engaged to my fiance, Nora. Super thankful for people that listen to this and share us on, for the congrats, for the messages. There were so many. I can't really do everyone individually, so I wanted to say it here. Thank you for all the congrats, and thank you for the family and friends that came and traveled for this surprise fun event. We had a great time and dinner and surprise, and couldn't be happier. But I want to thank everyone for the messages via Instagram, social media, Facebook, text. Really appreciate you all for sharing the love and showing support as we keep this thing rolling. But hey, folks, I wanted to pop in and do something. It's warm and sunny out here, as you can see. I had to do a quick episode to give an update, but I'm going to go chill, relax, and I'll be talking to you all very, very soon. See you soon.